Hi, I'm Lana.
Hi, I'm Ashlen.
And this is the Second Breakfast Club, our first early access Patreon series, which means that everything comes out a week earlier on the Patreon. So right now, if you're watching the YouTube channel and you're watching V and you want to finish the series today and see Jungkook, head on over to our Patreon, links in the description, and for $2 a month you get access to our run reactions, our Kdrama reactions, our vault of videos that have been taken down. Anytime we have to edit for our copyright, it's restored for the Patreon. Like, I don't know, the American Hustle Lifes are there. The, you know, like everything you might like is there for $2 a month. So all that said, we're doing a little like bite-sized look at each member's birth chart, like you guys asked. Not delving too deep, so these videos stay nice and short and consumable. But if you want more, just let us know. If you want to know what a birth chart is and have no idea, more links in the description. And because we don't know their birth times, we can't do their ascendants or their houses, but we can look at their planets. So we're going to try to guess and then see if the birth chart backs up our guesses as like a little fun experiment. So, all of that said, we have V, who we know is a Capricorn.
Which really surprised me.
Yeah, I was going to say, it really surprises me too, because I do not think of him as a Capricorn. I could see him as a Sagittarius.
Me too.
But I don't see him as a Capricorn. So that means, to me, the rest of his chart must not mesh with Capricorn.
Yeah.
I mean, I can see parts of Capricorn in him, but to put that in his sun sign place, that's very interesting. But also V's a mystery anyway, so.
That's true.
But like,
I see a lot of air signs.
Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe some fire signs in there.
Like, kind of like ethereal, not very rooted. I could see some earth signs creeping in, you know, like Capricorn, because, you know, he came from farmers. He seems, to me, kind of traditional as a person. Like, if BTS just suddenly ended and he didn't feel like doing anything else, I could see him, like, finding a house in the countryside somewhere and having a nice wife and a couple, you know, some kids. Like, there's some traditional stuff there, but he's just so artistic and creative and, like, air signy. Definitely. Probably some water in there, too. I think he thinks a lot deeper than people give him credit for.
Definitely. So I could see some Gemini in there, too, probably.
Gemini would make sense. So like we're saying, a touch of earth, but a lot of air, maybe some fire, maybe some water. That's what we're assuming.
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. So, sun sign is your root, and then moon is how you emotionally interact with the world and relate to the world. So an Aries and moon.
Fire sign.
Yeah, which is intense again. Like, I see the charming and the intensity, and when he's in a negative place, the reversion to childhood. But
he has a lot of freaking Capricorn.
Right?
Holy crap.
There's a lot more groundedness than we assumed in V. Like, his chart is very interesting to me.
I want to know what his ascending sign is.
Right? I really do, too. Because this isn't what I expect out of V at all. Which, to me, is interesting, because we've been kind of spot on with everybody else.
Well, I mean, I can see that the Aries, Aquarius, Sagittarius, Pisces, but I wasn't expecting this much Capricorn.
Or even this much Earth.
Yeah.
Like half is Earth. So yeah, to kind of slow down, Mercury in Capricorn, so that's his intellect and how he, like, logically interacts with the world, which I did not expect to be a Capricorn. But, you know, rational, resourceful, reflective, good judgment, determined. I can see all of that. But with the negative traits being skeptical and sarcastic, I don't see him as very sarcastic.
Oh, I do.
Really?
Yeah. I could see him being, yeah, of course.
I always think of sarcastic as so mean.
But see, I'm sarcastic, and I'm not mean.
I don't think of you as sarcastic. Maybe it's just my relationship to sarcastic. No.
Well, that's because I'm not sarcastic to you.
Oh, okay.
I'm sarcastic to, like, when I'm out with my girlfriends, like, being funny, like, sarcasm.
I see him as tricky. But again, I think that's my relationship to sarcasm, not...
She takes that as passive-aggressive.
I do. I think of I think of sarcasm as passive-aggressive, and I don't see V as super passive-aggressive. if V is holding on to things, I think it's more out of a place of hurt than anger. But yeah, this basically saying his thought process is really grounded and rational, which I can definitely see resourceful and reflective, and even determined. But I would expect an air sign in his Mercury, so that's interesting. And a Venus-ing Aquarius does make sense to me, because that would make him like creative and unique and spontaneous in love and stuff, and like, because Venus is your love sign and your romance sign, so I could see him being like, I don't know, painting you a picture, or like grabbing your hand and wanting to go to the amusement park, or like, you know, just kind of that spontaneous, fun, really open-minded approach. Mars in Capricorn, so his passion, his intensity, his all of that is an earth sign. Which again, it makes me want to meet him even more. Right? Like, because according to this, he's so grounded. Which, to me, he's always a mystery. So I'm not surprised if I was completely wrong about him. You know what I mean? It just makes me more curious to know more about him.
Definitely.
So yeah, hardworking, disciplined, reliable, and realistic. But in a negative place in his life, he could be cold or really emotional. Honestly, it also, I'm not trying to be personal and pry into his life at all, but it makes me wonder how often he's been in a bad place. Because a lot of his flip sides, you see more in him sometimes. You know, like a propensity to be childish, to be a little bit skeptical, to be a little rebellious, emotional, sensitive. You know what I mean? But it's interesting. So Jupiter in Sagittarius, that one makes sense. That makes a lot of sense, actually, because that's where you're going to find more passion, but also, like, the work he's driven to do and his, like, material life. So having that be, like, philosophy and friendliness and really inspiration and creativity driven. Saturn in Pisces, again, like, I'm glad we weren't totally wrong and there's some water sign in there. And then Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto are generational signs. Uranus can sometimes shift, but you're going to see most members of BTS being Capricorn, and Sagittarius. Except maybe Jungkook might break that mold because he's into another generation. Because he's kind of on that cusp between millennial and Gen Z. But yeah. Very surprising chart. Like,
sorry, I was just thinking about sarcasm.
Yeah.
And I don't think I'm sarcastic. I'm quick-witted.
I was going to say, I don't think you are either.
I think I was thinking sarcastic as, like, no.
When I think of sarcasm, I know some people are just sarcastic, so I'm not trying to offend people who identify as sarcastic. But I've had a lot of people in my life who have identified as sarcastic, and what they mean is passive-aggressive and trying to have an excuse for why they're mean. So I don't think of you as mean.
No, I'm
I think
quick-witted.
you're actually pretty honest and blunt, which to me is kind of the opposite of sarcasm. Because sarcasm, it's almost always mean. Like, you know? Like, you'd be like, oh, I really like that person, but I'm going to put them down about something, or...
Yeah, that's not me.
No, you're really upfront.
Yeah.
Like, if people think you're being sarcastic, you probably mean exactly what you just said. You're not being sarcastic. You're just straightforward. So, you know, some people can pull it off. I'm a really fragile soul. So, like, passive aggression and sarcasm makes me feel bad. It doesn't make me laugh.
Yeah.
Just like, I don't know, saying a mean thing about a stranger wouldn't make me laugh, even though some people will, like, snicker and think that's funny. You know? I don't know. I'm not trying to put anybody down. I don't see you as sarcastic.
Yeah.
And I don't see V as sarcastic at all.
No.
If anything, I see him as more sensitive. Like, he would be sad about sarcasm. But, very interesting chart to me. It makes me really want to meet and talk to him more. Just, like, to get a sense of who he is as a person.
Yeah.
He's such a mystery boy.
He is.
I think of all the members, to me, he's the biggest mystery. But yeah, what surprised you? What, talk about it. Like, does this make total sense to you? Like, I'm really curious. Let's have a conversation. Again, you can go to the Patreon to see the videos earlier if you want to. This is just a little snapshot. We can talk more in the comments. We can also do more detailed videos. But, yeah, let's head on over to Jungkook. See you in a week, unless you're on the Patreon. So until next time,
live long and prosper.
Also like, comment, and subscribe.
Bye.
Bye.